Shameful. Media slaps down Sussexes after their attempt to seize the spotlight backfires. Harry despises media because they call him and Meghan out for what they are. Carol Malone. Pestilence, famine, his mother's death, climate change, the fact he can't get Marmite in California. Okay, I made that one up. Now he's claiming the news media has contributed to mass-scale misinformation and lies about the vaccine and created vaccine hesitancy. Sorry, but that is hysterical, uninformed tosh. If this idiot ever read the news, he'd know the media has been vociferously pro the vaccine. What hasn't is social media, where for months a deranged cabal of conspiracy theorists have been screaming about the government, together with Bill Gates, using the vaccines to implant microchips into our brains. They're also claiming it makes people magnetic, causes autism, and is made from fetal tissue. Yabba, yabba. But Thicky Harry clearly doesn't know the difference between social and news media, which became obvious at GQ's Men of the Year Awards this week, where he made the confused claim that the news media had been peddling mass misinformation and lies about the vaccine. Of course, none of this is to do with the vaccine. It's all about Harry's paranoid, unrelenting hatred of the media, which he despises, in part, because it sees him and Meghan for what they are. Because it dares to question their so-called truths and calls out their towering hypocrisy. Like when supposed eco-warrior Harry recently took a private jet from a polo match in Aspen back to his home in Santa Barbara, which would easily have emitted 10 tons of CO2. But, hey, we should know by now Harry's climate change mantra has always been don't do what I do what I tell you to do. He and Meghan hate the news media because its journalists behave like actual journalists and not the fawning PR lackeys they want them to be. The news media doesn't just swallow every outlandish, hurtful claim he and Meghan make. The pair of them have made a career and many millions out of taking vile patshots at the royal family while playing professional victims, whining about their hellish treatment at the hands of the Windsors. And that's why Ofcom's decision this week, which completely exonerated Piers Morgan for saying he didn't believe a word of what they said in that Oprah interview, wasn't just an embarrassing smack in the face for this self-righteous pair. It's also a big wake-up call for them. Until now they've operated safe in the knowledge that anyone who dared criticize them was silenced, but not before being slated as a racist, a sexist, or both. We weren't allowed to probe their so-called truths, many of which have proved to be untrue. But this Ofcom ruling sets a precedent. It means we're now entitled to say we don't believe everything they spout, which isn't just a victory for free speech but for common sense as well. Why should Meghan and Harry be entitled to free speech while the rest of us are not? It also means Has and Megs might now have to provide evidence, hard facts, for some of their devastating accusations about the royals. And maybe they'll now think twice about abusing their power by contacting the bosses of people who've upset them and demanding they be sacked, which Meghan did over Piers Morgan. They will have to do what they should always have had to do but which ingrained wockery here prevented and that's be able to back up what they say. Because with every day that passes they look less credible and more neurotic and desperate. Their motives look less charitable and more self-serving. And if Harry wants to know what peddlers of misinformation look like he just needs to look in the mirror.